can I give you some criticism or, constructive criticism? And I said, yeah, Chris, what's up? And he was like, one of the things I'll correct is you really don't stay on topic very much. And he said, you probably should stay on topic. That was one of the suggestions Chris gave me. He said, I would make the show a lot shorter, too. It'd be a lot easier to listen to. He's right. It probably should be like 10 or 15 minutes, and I probably should stay on topic. But if I did stay on topic, and if I did do like a 5 or 10 minute show, like a lot of YouTube shows or a lot of podcasts, and that just wouldn't be me. I like to get on here and talk for a longer period of time. I got 45 minutes on Spreaker. I paid for that airtime, so I'm gonna not always talk for 45 minutes. Sometimes I might do a 30-minute show. I haven't been on this podcast, or haven't been on this mic in 3 weeks, so I think I should do a full 45-minute episode at least today. Maybe the next episode will only be like 15 or 20 minutes. I can definitely do a shorter episode. I don't have to go the full amount of time all the time. But I've noticed, the one thing I've noticed is when I do these episodes, you just really start to get into what you're talking about at like the 25 to 30 minute mark anyway. So that's why it's hard for me to do like a 15-minute show. I don't even know how people do like 5-minute shows and 10-minute episodes. I don't know how people do that because it's very hard for me to get on a mic and say everything I want to say in 5 or 10 minutes. So, like I said, this podcast or this episode, this show in general, it might not be for you. There are a million other podcasts on the internet. If you don't like this one, I would recommend that you go watch one of them. You won't hurt my feelings because, like I said, I'm just doing this for fun. If anybody listens to it, or if lots of people listen to it, hopefully lots of people do, that's just a perk, or that's just a side effect, a good side effect of, something good. But it's not like my intention. But would I like to blow up one day and, get like a sponsor? That's another thing about the place, the second place that I was working at, the second job that I was working at, one of the owners, not the main owner, but one of the owners, he was talking to us that first day, and he said, yeah, one of the things that I want is like a social media ambassador, and I want someone to promote the restaurant and promote the food, get on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, and really promote our food. And when he said that, I talked to him personally. I went to talk to him personally. I said, I would really be interested in doing that for you, as like a little side job. I said, I can promote you on my podcast. I have a podcast. He quickly shut that down. He was like, no, I'm not interested in that. No, thank you. And I was like, well, damn, I offered to promote his restaurant on my podcast for free, and he really wasn't interested in it. He's like, I'm not really interested in your little show or whatever. So, that kind of hurt my pride a little bit. That kind of hurt the heart a little bit when he said that. I'm very proud of this show, even though it's a very small show. Only a few people listen to it. Like I said, I have over 1,000 plays, so I would have to think that several people listen to it. But it's not like a large amount. I'm not going to say I have a whole bunch of fans or I have a following or anything. It's not that serious, but, people, not just people on my Facebook friend list either, but other people, several people have picked up on the show. And, that's good. That makes me feel happy. Maybe one day, to keep growing. This is only episode 27. Hopefully when I get to like episode 1,000 or whatever, if I keep doing these that long, and there's no reason why I wouldn't do it that long. Hopefully by then, who knows? Maybe, I could have a real sponsor. But, yeah, I was going to sponsor that guy's restaurant. He was going to be my first real sponsor, but he wasn't interested in that, so we had to part ways. I wasn't interested in a lot of the stuff they were putting down, but, I'm not going to talk bad about them and be messy. Like I said, great new restaurant. I'm not even going to call out the name, but you know what I'm talking about, if you live in Enterprise or the surrounding areas. But it's a great little place. The food is pretty good. I've heard from other people that the service is not as fast as you would want it. A lot of my friends have said that they went there and they were sitting there a minute. A lot of people have told me that, and more than one person. And then some of the people, or not even people that knew that I was working there, said that. I only worked there like a couple days in the training. I just knew it. Just like I said, it was a bad situation. You ever just start doing something and you realize this shit is not going to end well? I probably should not do this. I need to do something else. I need to get the hell away from this. That's the kind of situation it was in where, not to talk bad about them once again, but, people were like, one person was telling me one thing, the other person was telling me something else, and like I said, it wasn't organized, and I couldn't listen to the person that I actually should have been listening to. I couldn't listen to them. It was just very frustrating, and I have enough frustration and enough stress in my life, so I had to, I guess, B4 Brady's is my sponsor, because they pay my, that's where I made the majority of my money from, side job aside, so shout out to B4 Brady's, go eat at beef, shout out to everybody that works there, Chris is my GM, and my managers, Mike and Ashley, and my fellow cooks, Linda and Cody, and all the servers that work at B4 Brady's. I really do love working there most days. So sometimes I get a little frustrated, stressed out there too. But I think that's with any job. If you work a full-time job, even if you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, that can be frustrating. Life in general is just frustrating. It can be stressful. You have good days and you have bad days. But hopefully you have more good days than bad days. I think that's the key to happening. I've promoted that. I'm a cookie person. I probably love cookies more than anybody you've ever met in your lifetime. And one of the reasons why I love cookies is because when you're really going through a lot, cookies can help you just come down from, any situation, any problem, your relationship ain't working out, eat cookies, People getting on your nerves at work, eat cookies. You didn't get that raise or position you want, eat a cookie. What else? Any kind of shit that goes wrong, eat a cookie. I should just get a t-shirt that says eat a cookie, because I think that's just my philosophy. But if I had one, it would be eat lots of cookies. And I know a lot of you out there's a lot of people, you're going through a lot of bad times. I just want you to know that Jonathan, that I don't really care about what's going on with you. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I care what's going on with you. You're my listeners. I care about all my listeners. I care about everybody that takes the time to listen to this show. Nikki, shout out to Nikki, and shout out to Big Will, and shout out to Frank D. Wilson. Shout out to Tremaine J. Irby. All these people that share my episodes, There's really 4 or 5 people that every time I post an episode, they will share it. They're really good about that. And that helps get people that haven't heard this episode, maybe somebody that's not on my friends list, that's on your friends list, will go back and listen to it. That means a lot. Thank you, everybody. God bless us, everyone. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about and get into, but I spent most of this episode talking about what I've been doing the last 3 weeks. I really couldn't get into everything I want to get into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to edit this show, put this show up so people can listen to it. Go do the thing that I was supposed to do last night that I didn't do when I got off work. And I know this person, no, it's not my mom either. It's somebody else that's very difficult at times, but I love them dearly. But I was supposed to go do this thing for a friend of mine. I didn't do it. I just remembered, because I worked a double yesterday. When I got off of my double, I ate and went and took my black ass to bed. So that's why I forgot all about it. But I can still go do it here shortly in the next little while. But I'm going to go do the thing I got to do. And what I'm going to do is probably record a few episodes a day. I might even post a few episodes a day. Talking about some different things. I don't know when I'm going to have another guest. Like I said, if this is the first time that you've heard this episode or you heard of this show, sometimes I do have guests. My mom's been on my show, Mabel Mays. She was hilarious. I don't even remember what episode that was, but if you can find it, if you can go down the list of tracks and find that episode, listen to that episode, it was very, very funny. My friends Russell and Nate, they come on the show sometimes. Shout out to Russell Burwell, shout out to Nate Elwell, shout out to all my friends. Trying to get my friend Ann, my best friend Ann, to come on the show, but Ann, that's another difficult person sometimes. She, keeps promising me she's going to do it, but then she's been on vacation all week, hasn't offered to be on my podcast one time. I think that's very, very telling. And, what's up with that, Ann? Well, you don't want to be on my show? But anyway, is that what it really is? Let's stop flexing. Let's be honest. You don't want to be on my show. You think I'm going to say something to embarrass you. And I would never embarrass Ann. I love Ann dearly. I would never do that. I'm Scouts on him. I know I do a lot of things that are savage and a lot of things that probably are only funny to me. But I would never embarrass Ann. Ann, she's a very special person in my life. And, even though, well, I'm not going to get into that. But, shout out to everybody that wants to come on the show or has been on the show. There are a lot of people I was supposed to have on the show in the past month. And because I was working so much, I had to cancel a lot of the guest people that I was supposed to have on my show. But now that I'm only working one job, hopefully I'll be able to have more guests on, and hopefully I'll be able to incorporate more people into Johnny Knows Best, into the universe of Johnny Knows Best. But, like I said, I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm one of a kind. There's only one Jonathan Mays. There's only one Johnny. I'm Black Angus. That's my nickname. There's only one Black Angus, There's a lot of people that will try to be like me, try to do stuff like me, and they just won't be as successful as me because I'm me. There's nobody else that's like me, I'm proud to be me. I'm a sexy beast. But, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and post this and put it up. And thank you to everybody for listening. And that's all. I'll holler. Listen to my next episode.